Hello friends, it seems that Marcus Rashford is on the verge of leaving Manchester United. At any moment we might see him joining another club. The management has made its decision and coach Ruben Amorim supports it. In fact, through his statements he has hinted that he isn't entirely convinced by Rashford. So, what happened to Rashford? What are his issues and where might he go? The truth is, Rashford's decline isn't new. It started last season when his performance led to him being excluded from the England squad for the European Championship, as we recall. During the summer, there was a lot of talk about the possibility of him being sold. However, the offers didn't seem to materialize, or perhaps the club decided to gamble, thinking, let's see what happens in the new season. Let's allow Ten Hag to work with Rashford. What's Rashford's problem? Some United fans seem to like him to the extent that they overlook his mistakes on the pitch, while another group of fans can't stand to see him play at all. In truth, Rashford's problems are apparent both on and off the pitch. On the pitch, the first clear issue with Rashford is his inconsistency. He goes through periods where he plays brilliantly, impressing even his toughest critics, only to follow them with stretches of poor performances that frustrate even his supporters. This inconsistency has been a pattern throughout his career, from the start until today. It's challenging to consider a player as the team's star, one of the highest paid players, when they struggle with such extreme inconsistency. Additionally, during matches, his work rate and defensive contributions are limited. At times, it feels like he assumes the role of the team's top star without putting in the necessary effort. This often affects the mood and dynamics of his teammates. For those who have followed Rashford closely over the years, it's noticeable that he hasn't developed or evolved in his game. His style, dribbling, passing, and overall approach seem stagnant. His vision on the pitch hasn't improved, and his tactical awareness remains underdeveloped. In contrast to many players who show significant growth as they age, between 18, 20, and into their late 20s, you can see their game evolving. Rashford appears unchanged. He seems stuck in the same patterns, and his lack of development is evident. This stagnation is also reflected in his performances. When the team is doing well, Rashford shines and looks exceptional. But when the team struggles, his level drops to match theirs. This raises questions for the management. Why should they make him one of the highest paid players if his contributions are inconsistent and dependent on the team's overall form? Another issue that has been pointed out multiple times is that Rashford, despite being a homegrown talent, having spent many years at the club and being a fan favorite, does not take on any significant leadership role or exert a positive influence in the dressing room. This creates a problem. How can someone be a star without leadership qualities? Moreover, how can he justify his high salary without providing leadership? You might notice I've repeated the phrase high salary often, and that's because I believe half of Rashford's problem lies in his salary. His issues are half related to performance and personality, and half to his wages. Let me focus on the salary first. If Rashford were earning a quarter of his current salary, it would be far more acceptable. However, being among the top 5 earners in the Premier League, his on-pitch contributions become entirely unacceptable. What makes matters worse is his behavior off the pitch. When Rashford started engaging in humanitarian work, there was a lot of talk that his training intensity and focus had declined, and his performance on the field suffered as his off-field activities increased. This lack of focus drew criticism. I also recall an incident in Belfast involving alcohol, after which he missed training the next day. He was reportedly disciplined and fined 2 weeks' wages. This incident happened in early 2024 and highlights a player whose attitude and seriousness have waned. It's reminiscent of mistakes made by players in the 1980s, but seems out of place in today's professional football. This behavior has led some to question whether football is still Rashford's top priority. You hear this phrase often in English football when a player appears disinterested during training and spends too much time partying, eating, and drinking, with little concern for their performance or level of play. Moreover, some sources have reported that Rashford doesn't put in maximum effort during training. He doesn't communicate much with teammates and is not particularly welcoming or interactive with new players, even though he is one of the team's stars. Welcoming new players is a key part of helping them integrate into the squad, but Rashford seems to limit his interactions to a small group, unintentionally creating a sense of division within Manchester United. This behavior has contributed to a sense of negativity around the club's culture. This is why Erik ten Hag has repeatedly emphasized the word culture in his comments about Rashford, suggesting that the issue might not only be about football, but also about the impression Rashford leaves in the club's environment. Between his unconvincing performances and lack of leadership qualities, the decision seems clear. He needs to leave. However, the question remains, will he actually leave? Rashford still has time and possesses the most important skill in football, scoring goals. Whether the coach is the smartest or the least experienced, they all want one thing: goals. If Rashford starts scoring consistently again, since it's clear he will get more chances before a potential sale, it could change the narrative. If he scores regularly like he did during his better periods, a smart coach like Amrabat, if we use him hypothetically, may reconsider. If he's delivering goals for me, why should I focus on tactical details if I have someone scoring? This approach could make life easier for everyone. In that case, Rashford might redeem himself through his ability to score goals while addressing his personality and off-field behavior. The current criticism might even push him to improve. However, if he fails to score and his behavior in training and beyond remains unchanged, it's likely he will leave. The challenge is finding a club willing to take him. His high salary and the transfer fee United would demand make it difficult, especially in the January transfer window. Potential options are limited. Paris Saint-Germain is one of the few possibilities, as Rashford could address their lack of goals while also serving marketing objectives. However, even PSG might hesitate to pay cash for him, especially with his high wages. The idea of Rashford joining Paris Saint-Germain serves both sporting and marketing purposes. From a sporting perspective, he could address their need for more goals. On the marketing side, PSG has struggled to penetrate the English market. Even with stars like Messi and Neymar, the club hasn't managed to become a name frequently mentioned in English media. Rashford's arrival could change that. Some suggest that this might also be an opportunity for Rashford himself. Having been pushed out of the spotlight and excluded from the national team, he might see this as a chance to make a fresh start. Another potential path could be moving to the Saudi Pro League. Spending 3 years there would offer him an excellent salary, and the Saudi League would likely welcome the idea of having an English star like Rashford, as it would bring the league significant attention and frequent mentions in English media. Seeing him in the Saudi League wouldn't be surprising. However, outside of that option, the transfer opportunities this winter are quite limited. The more logical choice might be for Rashford to stay until the summer transfer window, when a move could become more feasible. This possibility might lead Manchester United to give him more chances than expected, as a suitable deal may not materialize in the short term. And with this, we come to the end of this video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourselves and see you next time.